Hey, what's up, Spencer? My name's everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are sitting in front of my TBR shelves. As you can see, I have quite a lot of books to read, 121 just in this physical space alone. And I'm telling you, it can be pretty hard to choose what to read next when I have such a massive collection to pick from. So today we are going to do a random number generator picks what I read. Like I said, I have 121 books here, so I am going to put in 1 to 121 and let's see what number we get. All right, our first number is 13, and that is going to be Cordelia's Honor by Louis McMaster Bujold. I'm pretty sure that this is one of the books that my dance teacher gave me. Me and my dance teacher frequently talk about books and we share interest in books. So anytime she doesn't want a book anymore, she kind of just passes it off to me. So I have quite a few recommendations from her. I'm not really sure what this one is about, but I love going into books blind, so let's jump right in. Turns out Cordelia's Honor is not actually a single book. This is two books that this author has written that has now been bound together. This series apparently isn't even about Cordelia. It's about the guy that she falls in love with in the first book, and then the second book is supposed to be like 10 books later about their child, and for some reason these two books have been bound together. I'm not really sure why. I'm about 120 pages into this so far, and I'm gonna DNF it. This isn't really working for me. This is a sci-fi book, even though the cover looks really fantasy-like, and it's doing the sci-fi thing where it's talking a lot about different political stuff without bothering to try and explain anything that is going on, any of the relations, why we're fighting in a war, where everybody's just fighting for some reason. It starts off with Cordelia getting captured by these enemy aliens, and even though they're enemies, Cordelia and the man who captures her, they fall in love like almost instantly and decide to get engaged like almost instantly. Why they're enemies, I have absolutely no idea, except they're different races, so I guess that means that they have to fight. And while I was originally enjoying it at the start, as the book went on, the plot got more confusing and things kept happening that I was like, why are you doing that? Like, at one point, Cordelia escapes the enemy ship to get on her ship so that she can blow up her own ship and get recaptured by the enemies, but not like the guy that she likes, a totally different guy. What was the point to that? Why are we doing that? I don't understand. I have no idea what's going on. And then for some reason they're trying to make things be really like, ooh, because the guy who captured her is like, I'm gonna rape you, but I want this to be a super traumatic rape, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna have a schizophrenic man do it. Because somehow that makes it worse. I don't know. And Cordelia's being like, it's okay, schizophrenic man, you can rape me. I'm fine with it because I feel like people who are mentally deranged are closer to God than any of us, like Joan of Arc. Girl, what? What are you talking about? Speaking of girl, Cordelia somehow is the only woman in the entire universe. And I'm not even joking about that. Cordelia is the only woman in this entire story. There are no other women, both on her side and the enemy side. Why? I have absolutely no idea. Just every other character is a man. And I'm just not really vibing with this. I'm not doing it, so I think that I'm gonna be moving on to the next one. And what is going to be our next one? Let's see. We are going to pull up our random number generator, put in 1 to 120, and 93. Let's start counting. Right, and 93 gets us to Sleepless by Rami Hassman. This is a thriller, and I'm really feeling thriller. We're coming off of Summerween, so I'm kind of sticking with the thriller vibes, so hopefully this will be a good one to get into. I am 100 pages into Sleepless, and it's going okay so far. It isn't really good, but it isn't bad either. It's just okay. Apparently I have read a Romy Hostman before. I didn't remember, but Dear Child I read and I gave 1 star. So we're gonna get through this one and see how this one compares to Dear Child. So far it is about our main character Nadia helping her friend Lauren, something like that, hide a dead body. Except I'm not super sure why or how I'm supposed to be rooting for Nadia and Laura. Laura kind of just killed somebody and now we're just gonna dispose of his body, I guess. Oh. I really hope that things start to come together more and impact each other a little bit more. There are a couple other characters that we have been going to and seeing what's up with them, but we haven't fully figured out how everybody is connected yet. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts so far, is this book is okay. We are here at the library. I have just gotten volumes 2 and 3 of Run Away With Me Girl by Baton. I also picked up Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi and The Blood Trials by N.E. Davenport. I wasn't planning on grabbing those last 2. I only came to pick up Run Away With Me Girl and ended up getting distracted by those 2 books. They looked very good. So I have finished Sleepless by Romy Hassman, and I am giving this book 1 star. My goodness, it was not good at all. There are so many things about this that I had an issue with, and this is how you know that it was really bad, is when I start taking notes about the things that I want to talk about. 1. Why is it called Sleepless? There is nothing about sleep going on in this book at all. The main character does not struggle with sleep. There is no insomnia. There is none of that. I have no idea where this title came from. 2, I mentioned this is about our main character Nadia helping her friend Lauren, whatever her name is, get rid of a body. Why? Why is she doing that? She hasn't seen Laura in like 5 years. And Laura just shows up and is like, hey, can you help me get rid of this body? And for some reason, Nadia does it. No, why would you guys weren't even very good friends. When you were friends, why would you help somebody get rid of a body? Like, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The first half of the book is all about, not only are they trying to get rid of the body, but Lauren's husband is a lawyer who is chasing after them and is trying to prosecute them. And obviously I'm supposed to be rooting for the main character because that's how books work, but no, you're helping cover up a murder. You're helping get rid of a body. And he's just trying to bring you guys to justice, and I'm supposed to think that he's the bad guy? What, because the main character is a woman and this person is a man? Like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, I am all about girl crime, but you need to be more than a girl in order for me to be on board with the crime. Like, you know what I mean? The synopsis completely ruins a surprise, the twist in this book. Like, literally the very first sentence tells you the thing that you are not supposed to learn about until 2/3 of the way through. And this is why so many times I will say that I like to go into books blind, because this is not telling me anything about the story. All that it is spoilers. Also, repeatedly throughout the book, they keep on saying, like, the reason why we're doing this is 95% of dead bodies are found, which seems really high to me. Like, I'm sure that a large majority
of dead bodies are eventually found, but 95% seems wicked high. What, like 80? Sure. I tried to Google this to see like what statistics. I couldn't find anything, unfortunately. So like this just seems flat out wrong to me. I don't know if there's some statistic in Germany that they know that 95% of their bodies are found, but living in America, this takes place in Germany. This was written by somebody originally in German. I'm pretty sure that it's not 95%. Also, lastly, like going through this whole entire thing, the reason why they're doing this is so that Laura can get out of 5 years of jail. That's it. 5 years. I don't know about you, but 5 years doesn't sound that bad for me. For taking somebody's whole ass life, like, why are we going through this whole entire thing for 5 years? If it was 50 years, 35 years, 25 years, sure, I could see it. 5? That's about the same amount of time that it takes to go through college. Like, it doesn't really seem like the stakes are that high to me, you know? So yeah, this book really did not do it for me. Clearly, Romy Hausman is not an author for me. So let's go home and see what the next random book that I'm gonna be reading is.
All right, looks like I'm reading the very last book on my shelf, which for me is Hour of the Witch by Chris Bojalian. 100 pages into Hour of the Witch, and similar to Sleepless, apparently I have already read something by Chris Bojalian and gave it 1 star. I don't know how this keeps happening to me. I was glancing over all of my books that I have here and noticed that I had one of his books on my shelf, The Night Strangers. And if I remember correctly, even though I didn't like it and gave it 1 star, I still thought that it was fun. It was bad, but it was written in a way that it was still a fun time and kind of felt like watching a bad horror movie. But this is a historical fiction, and I am liking this so far. And I think maybe the change in genre is what is making it so that I'm enjoying this more. And also probably the fact that this book is giving me a lot of homesickness. It is making me think of New England and making me really miss New England. I currently live in Denver, but I grew up in the Boston area, so everything that is being talked about in here, obviously, even though it takes place in the 1600s, you know, it just makes me really reminisce with all of the historical buildings that would be around the cobblestone streets. There's just so much about New England that is historical, and it just really kind of makes me think of and miss home. But this book is about our main character. Her name is Mary Deerfield, and it is the 1650s, 60s, something like that, you know, colonial Boston, and she is living with a very abusive husband. So even though it is not a normal thing to get a divorce at this time, she is petitioning for a divorce, but unfortunately, you can't have anything happen in this time frame without there being witchcraft. So it is going to devolve into a witch trial. It is a bit slow, but I feel like because it's giving me so much of a reminder of home that I'm kind of fine with it and I'm going with it. I like the characters so far. It seems like Chris Bojalian really kind of knows what he's talking about when it comes to the 1600s, because a lot of the things that he's talking about feels very accurate for the time. He's having them do a lot of vows and arts and all that, but he's clearly studied the way that the grammar for back then works, so it all is flowing together and it feels natural, and I'm enjoying what is going on so far. So yeah, nothing crazy with this one yet, and I will check in with you guys in a little while. So it's a few days later, and I have finally finished Hour of the Witch by Chris Bojalian, and I'm gonna be giving this book 3 stars. While I did enjoy it, it was also quite a slow book. Things were really meandering along, and it really felt like a lot of the scenes could have been tightened up or really kind of cut out because it didn't really seem like they were doing all that much. There was also a lot of things that Chris Bojalian could have done to really, like, make the tension a lot more and really increase the stakes and make everybody kind of more of a suspect of, like, who really was the witch and stuff like that. But he didn't really do that. It was kind of just a bunch of people were there, and because everybody's a Puritan, everybody's being, like, really nice to each other, kind of like in a backhand way, but still just really nice in general. I wish that there had been more to this story because that really would have made it so much better, but a lot of stuff was really just basic and kind of forward, and I could tell where the ending was coming from like a mile away. So yeah, that's Hour of the Witch, and I believe we're going to pick one last book for this vlog, and then we'll probably start wrapping things up. Alright, so let's see what we're gonna get for our next number, and I have 49. And it seems like it's gonna be The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I have read a Rick Yancey before, and I did really enjoy it. However, when I went on to the second book in that series, I wasn't as into it, but maybe this one will be... Oh. Okay, very clearly this book was I get a lot of my books secondhand. This book was very clearly owned by a school child, because here is a whole entire class schedule. First we got geometry, then we got history, then we got lunch, then we got literature. I'm not going to show you guys this because it actually has the name of this student on it. But yeah, very interesting that I'm finding things from another person in here. Please be careful when you are donating your own things, or whether your children are donating their things, that there are not random items that could identify them and have them be, you know, maybe if some other person got this book, maybe some creepy person is gonna try and find who this person is, this student. Thankfully I'm not. I'm just gonna throw all of this stuff away, but yeah. Although, look at this nice eye that this person drew. Wow. This is how we know that this person probably has ADHD or something. If you, in class, drawing eyes instead of paying attention to what you're doing, then you probably have some sort of learning disability. And I say that from personal experience. Anyway, let's jump into The Fifth Wave, but actually first, let's go to dance class. And not miss dance class because I accidentally forgot to go last week. So let's do that, and then we can start reading The Fifth Wave. which is good. I haven't had a good day in a little while, so it's nice to have a good day. I spent like 2 hours at the dance studio earlier because I am on the cusp of testing up to the next level of dance. The way that it works in Irish step dancing is that there are 6 dances that we do, and you have to learn the different steps for each one and be able to demonstrate that you can do them properly. And once you've shown that you have mastered all 6 dances, then you get to move on to the harder versions of the dances. But so I am hoping that in a week I will be able to test on everything and be able to move up to the next class, because I've mastered quite a few of these for a while now, and I would really like to start learning some new stuff. Anyway, I have started the 5th wave, and I am about 60 pages into it, and I'm really liking it so far. This follows our main character, Cassie. She is in a kind of post-apocalyptic world where aliens have come down and have wreaked havoc, killing like 99% of humanity. She is one of the very last few people alive. And the aliens have been killing people in waves. They have been doing different things in order to bring about the end of humanity. They've done a number of things, including like taking out all technology, and then they sent a flu, and now there's a bunch of drones that are like shooting a bunch of people and stuff. So there's been 4 waves of killing so far, and I don't know what's gonna come with the 5th wave, but you know, that's what it's called, so that's what we're getting to. I feel like we haven't had a lot of good books in this vlog, so hopefully this will end up being like a 4 or 5 star. I think everything that I've done in the past few reads have been kind of low, so hopefully this one will end up being really good. I am over halfway through the 5th wave, and I am really liking it so far, so much that I already put the 2nd book on my TBR, even though I haven't finished this yet. Now that we've gotten farther into it, we have been switching points of view, which has been very interesting. We're really getting into like child soldiers and stuff like that, and there are definitely a lot of messed up things happening in this book. And that's one of my favorite things for books. I want messed up things to be happening, because that is what keeps me engaged. That's what makes me keep being like, oh my god, what is gonna happen next? I don't know what else to say besides the fact that I am really excited to keep reading this because it has been so good so far. Yes, I have finished The 5th Wave by Rick Yancey, and I am giving this book 4.5 stars. I am so glad that I can end this vlog on a good note. I feel like I haven't had a good book in like such a long time, and I am so excited that this one turned out so good. There was a lot of stuff happening in this. There was plenty of times in which I thought I knew what was gonna happen, but then Rick Yancey like switched it all up and it didn't really happen. I still am not sure whether there's gonna be like this love triangle, possibly even a love square. I don't even know about that. But yeah, like I said, I already added the next book to my TBR because I'm very excited to continue on in this series. It is a trilogy, so I'm probably gonna get to the next book ASAP. I'm trying to do better with series where previously I would read the first book and then spend so long until I read the second book that I would need to reread the first book, so I'm trying not to do that. I am trying to, if I start a series, then I'm going to finish it within a short amount of time. So I'm gonna jump on to the next one, and I'm very excited for it. Alright, so that's kind of it for this vlog. If you have made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more like it. But besides that, make sure to stay safe, have a fantastic day, and that was the end of my thing. Bye!